بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Living the Quran through the Living Quran, an audio-visual translation of Tafsir an-Nur of Sheikh Mohsen Qiraati, translated by Salim Bimji and edited by Arif Huda. Audio version read out by the translator. In this 22-part series, we will be reviewing chapter 58 of the Noble Quran, Surah al-Mujadilah, the Pleading Woman. The Abased Ones. Those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, surely those will be among the most abased. Thinking points. Apparently this verse is a continuation of the theme of the previous verses, and it resumes the discussion of the actions of the hypocrites, especially by keeping in mind that the 5th verse of this chapter spoke of their destructive hostile stance against Allah and the Messenger. Now, the problems which the believers sometimes go through in life are quick to pass, as we read in the Quran in chapter number 3, Surah Al-Imran, verse 123, where Allah says, "For sure Allah had helped you to victory at Badr, when you were a despised small force. So observe your duty to Allah and due reverence for Him, that you may be thankful." However, the disgrace which the opponents of the Muslims will face is everlasting, and their good reputation is short-lived, as we see in this verse where Allah says, "Surely those will be among the most abased." Takeaway messages. Number 1. Hypocrisy leads a person to a place where they will put themselves ahead of Allah and His Messenger. Number 2. Just as the commands of the Prophet are the commands of Allah, so too war against the Prophet is war against Allah. Point number 3. Whoever stands in defiance of the truth will suffer the worst form of humiliation. Point number 4. Those who consider the Muslims as being humiliated must realize that they themselves will end up being in the worst possible state of humiliation. And this is noted in the Quran in chapter number 63, Surah Al-Munafiqun, verse 8, where Allah says, they say, "For certain if we return to Medina, those with more status and power will drive out from it the weaker and lowlier ones. But all glory and might belong to Allah, and by His permission to His Messenger and the believers. But being incapable of knowledge of the truth, the hypocrites do not know this." Point number 5. As honor and dignity solely are for Allah and His Prophet, thus those who decide to stand in war against them will be considered as the most disgraced of individuals. Point number 6. The outcome of opposition to the commands of Allah and His Messenger is humiliation in this world and in the hereafter. We will continue it in our next session by reviewing verse number 21.